Hey, welcome back to Virtual. Today I'm going to show you some of the settings that I found to create really awesome shadows in Unreal Engine 5. So first off, as you can see, these shadows here are very soft, and like at the corners of the tables and so on, it doesn't quite connect. You want harder shadows at the edges, and then it goes softer outwards. So one of the solutions that I found was you go into your light source, type in shadow, and then you can use the shadow filter sharpen, and then it gives a nice crisp edge to the shadows. But then, as you can see over here, I have it doesn't quite connect, and for that you can use the contact shadow length, pull that up a bit, but then it kind of makes this weird call that there, so I don't quite like that. Another solution is going to the dynamic shadow distance. If you pull that down, you also get the nice crisp edges, and there's no gaps here by the leg of the chair. However, if you go out of your scene and just have a nice wide view, pulling down the dynamic shadow distance completely removes the shadow from further objects. So again, not the best solution necessarily for all situations. The best solution I found was playing with a number dynamic shadow cascades. Bringing that up to 4 is already a major difference. I found bringing it up to 6 is even better. Then if you scroll back up and go to the shadow filter sharpen, you can also play with the edges again. I found 0.01 to be quite good for the scene I was creating here. So that also fixes the shadows around the edges of the table and the chair. I also played around with different light sources. So if I switch off the skylight and the atmosphere, I put in this rect light. Let me just quickly move these guys forward. Not a bad shadow. However, with the rect light, I found if you just have it, there's also this problem with the feet that don't have the shadows completely connected. So here is just connecting the shadows with a contact shadow length until it's about there. Also, if you look at the wall, between these two, it fills in the shadows there, so it looks better in my opinion. That's the only thing I found with the rect light, the only problem. And then for some fun, I created this sphere with an emissive material to see if there's any problems with shadows on this. But as you can see, it creates really soft shadows like you would imagine a campfire or something like that. So there's no fixes really needed for hard shadows and things that need to connect. Yeah. If you guys have any other solutions, better solutions, or better methods of fixing the shadows, please feel free to let me know in the comments below. Looking forward to chatting with you guys.